Hi, I'm Jeremy Bradley, author of the official guide to being a Winnipeg Cheapskate. In this continuing series for the Winnipeg Free Press, we talk about how you can cut costs throughout the year and save some significant cash. Late last year, we had a segment where I told you to look closely at your cell phone bill. I asked if you understood all the charges and if you knew what you were paying for. Here's the funny thing. When that segment ran, I had no idea I was the victim of a billing problem with Rogers. Often I pay bills in a hurry, so I don't look too closely at them. Now, for some reason, the ones I still get by mail, I flip through and look at the pages. When I get an email notification, I just see the amount and pay it because I don't feel like remembering my username, logging in, scrolling through the info, and really that was my own stupidity. I noticed for a few months that my bill was costing me more and more. Finally, I attempted to decode what it all meant, and I noticed some things that I'd never even heard of. First, there was something called flex rate data. I did a search of the Rogers site and couldn't find any information, so I called in and the work-at-home agent in her pajamas didn't care to help me, which didn't help my anger. Turns out that flex rate data is something that is tacked onto your bill when you go over your data usage. But it was on my account, though it was never explained to me what it was and that I would be incurring charges for it. So, naturally, I wanted to see how much data I had because when I looked at the section for actual data usage, it didn't show that I had gone over. I also noticed that within 5 lines on the bill, there was contradictory information. Notice here, it says 2 gigabytes of data and then also 1 gigabyte of data. Do I have 1? Do I have 2? Do I add it all together to make 3? The lounging on the couch, headset wearing, outsourced employee couldn't even tell me what my plan was, though I got the feeling she didn't really care. And then, my friends, it was on. This typically mild-mannered cheapskate got on the line with the president's office at Rogers. I know people, what can I say? And I got the VP, Maria Churchill, pictured to my right, looking into it. No. We don't have a picture of her? This is Churchill, Manitoba. Anyway, Maria Churchill was looking into it personally since I dealt with her before on a previous experience. And sure as shoot, it took a couple days, but Churchill and her colleagues noted there was a billing error and that it was going to be corrected. Now that was all fine and dandy, but being someone who is looking out for the consumer's best interest, I pressed for answers to the question, how many other people are having this same thing happen? How many people are giving the company an extra $5, $10 a month and not even knowing it? While Churchill wouldn't go on the record and provide a statement, though we did have a nice long recorded phone chat about it, Media Relations eventually followed up with a statement saying, "What you experienced was a misprint in the summary section in the side panel of the invoice due to a data entry error. It affected less than 300 customers and we have corrected it for these customers. Though I recognize your own experience with us has been less than positive, we appreciate you bringing this to our attention. Again, my apologies for the service issues." Churchill's office took care of the bill, crediting back most of the year's extra charges, and one of her colleagues called me to say that he found a better price plan that would suit my needs. He set up the plan and said everything would be taken care of. Problem is, he actually made it worse. He inadvertently put me on an iPhone plan when I have a BlackBerry, so my service was cut off for the day. I even rushed out to buy a new SIM card because my phone was showing errors with my SIM card. You guessed it, another email to the president's office on a Friday night, and much to her credit, Churchill did get back to me the same evening. She looked into it and, again, offered her apologies that her staff didn't make things better. They made it worse. Eventually, it was corrected, any extra charges were reversed, Rogers reimbursed me for the new SIM card that I rushed out to buy, and I will say that it was commendable for Churchill to be as involved as she was in getting the issue fixed up. Like I said last time, go through your bills and make sure you understand the charges. If something doesn't make sense, or you notice something different pop up one month, find out about it right away. It could be costing you extra without you even knowing. Alright, well next time I will tell you about the different ways to complain to save money. And no, I'm not saying just complaining for the sake of complaining to save a few bucks. I mean when you're wronged by a company, sort of like I was, not letting them decide the outcome. There is a way to get what you want. Know when to sharpen your claws and when to be a softie. Remember, go to cheapskatebook.com and enter the coupon code WFP for a 30% discount on the official guide to being a Winnipeg Cheapskate. For the Winnipeg Free Press, I'm Jeremy Bradley.